either you're seeing me inside of Social Media Manager School, which is now transitioning over to Social Media Pulse and Academy, or you're seeing me on LinkedIn, or you're seeing me in all sorts of different places, including maybe on YouTube, or maybe inside the community. I don't know where you're going to see me, but we have some special guests today, and we're going to talk about a particular app that's gaining a lot of buzz around all the things. And if I sound funny, I apologize in advance. I am suffering from vacation sickness, and hopefully we'll get through all this without too much. So today we're going to be talking about the app BeReal. And a few weeks ago, I invited a few people inside of the group to test it out with me. And a few brave souls did that. And today we're going to talk about their first impressions and talk about whether this is something that would be good for you as a social media manager or an agency owner to look into for yourself or for your clients, right? So that's the plan. And I'm going to bring on two people right now. I'm going to bring in Shaun. Hello, Shaun. How
Hi,
you
Phyllis.
doing?
How are you?
And tell everybody where you're tuning in from today.
So I'm based about 25 miles away from Loch Ness in Scotland.
That's awesome. So I'm very happy you're here. And then I'm going to bring on Amy, who is in her car. Hello, Amy.
Hi, I am in my car. Yeah, we had a busy morning today, but I'm glad to be here.
It's good. So you're going to be safe and not answer any questions if you're driving. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you off to the side for just a second and talk to Shaun and get some first impressions for this app. So first, let me set this up for people who have maybe never even heard of this app or known anything about it. BeReal is sort of the antidote to Instagram, is the way I've decided, is that it's a picture posting app. There's no video uploads as of right now. And what it is you have um, an app that you have friends, but there is a public side of it, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you have your friends, and the app itself will notify everybody at the same time. Boom, you have 2 minutes to post a BeReal. Now, a BeReal is a image that you take with your camera, but it takes the front camera and the back camera. So it shows where you are at that time in the moment. No matter, you don't have time to set it up. You don't have time to, there's no filters, there's no editing, there's nothing. It's you have to be real where you are at that moment. And the only way you can see your friends' BeReals is if you post one yourself. So you can't just go look at everybody else's stuff. You have to be fully involved in the process. So Shaun, tell me your sort of first impressions when you started using the app.
Yeah, I think a bit like yourself, Phyllis. It was quite frightening that you only you had 2 minutes to take your photo, and it didn't matter where you were. It you just had to take it. But I think for me, I think this experiment's been really good just to see what other marketers are doing, what they're out about doing, and brought probably us closer as a group than we probably were before the experiment.
Yes, I think that's the most interesting thing is that we did this with people that we don't know well. We only know them from the group. They're not our location buddies, or we haven't really met in real life anywhere. And yet we're sharing these first thing in the morning, still in your pajama photographs, or last thing at night watching Netflix photographs, or eating your food photographs. It's really very informal. And I mentioned in the beginning that um, there it's the opposite of Instagram in a way, because you don't have an opportunity to filter. And honestly, that's been my biggest challenge with it, because it's a little too real. When you go to take that photograph and you're not in makeup, or you're not dressed, or you just came out of the shower and you're just going to post that photograph out to people in your circle, you have to really trust and know the people in your circle to feel comfortable to do that. And so it's been a little challenging for me in particular. I'm going to bring Amy in for a second and get your first impressions with that experience.
Yeah, so I feel like it's done wonders for kind of breaking that habit of just, and as social media managers, we strategize everything, right? Like everything's pre-planned or scheduled or has a purpose. Like we're thinking about target audience, or we're thinking about all these considerations before we post anything. And it's so opposite. I like the word that you use, the antithesis, because it really is the opposite. Any other content that we create or publish, the spur of the moment, like go with it. Whatever you've got, you're going with it. And I mean, figured like one little downside so far. It's a really fun experiment, and I feel like I'm actually learning as I go, where most social media platforms, they're all, even if the platform itself is very, very different, the attitude, I guess, you have about it and the behavior we exhibit with those platforms is very similar. And this one actually kind of changes your attitude and behavior, which I think is most interesting.
I agree with that. And it's a very interesting first impression. I do want to read two more first impressions from some people inside our group that have been posting with us. And from Marina, she says, I understand why it appeals to Gen Z, being a snapshot of ordinary is the word there, daily life. So it's like I said, no filters, no editing, no, just like this is where I am right now, and it's a very real experience. And Wendy says that it seems well suited for behind the scenes stuff, which is great for brands and probably for influencers. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, like who it's for. Like it's super obvious it would be super good for a group of friends who maybe don't see each other enough but want to keep up with each other. I'm thinking, like college friends. I'm thinking buddies that have been developed through time in a location and maybe have moved away, maybe relatives, maybe families. I mean, that sort of case use is really obvious, right? You have to like each other enough to see a photo from them every day, basically. But as social media marketers, we're always thinking, well, is this good for a client? Like, how would I use this for a client? And I would like, Shaun, if you have some impressions about that, we'll go into your impressions about that first.
Yeah, for me, I thought it was quite good just to see the life of another marketer and what they're doing. I don't know if it was Amy or one of the else in the group that says they could easily now spot my desk, because that's where I always seem to be. I also thought, I agree with you with a brand being that behind the scenes. You could imagine
Shaun is frozen. Come back, Shaun. Oh no. Well, we'll move to Amy as Shaun gets unfrozen. Amy, hopefully you won't freeze either.
Hey. Yeah, I feel
So
like oh, sorry, I was going to answer the same question.
Yes, go ahead.
I think what we learn as marketers and what I'm going to try to share with my clients is less that they need to be on the app, at least right now. I don't know, maybe that changes in the future, but that they should consider this as like a telltale sign that attitudes about social media and content are changing. So if they're remaining on Facebook, maybe be more authentic and more raw and more in the moment instead of these pre-planned posts. So I'm using it more as an indicator of attitudes and behaviors, and less really just deciding whether or not my client should be on it.
That's a great point. So if BeReal, and it is taking off in certain demographics, it's definitely becoming very, very popular. And if that's the case for those demographics, then that flavor of BeReal is something that might be utilized in other places. And if everybody remembers, and I'm just going to take Amy off for a second. If everybody remembers the very beginning of Instagram, the very beginning of Instagram was very similar to this. It was very behind the scenes. It was real things. It was a kind of peek into somebody's life, and influencers and brand people were using it that way. And then it became more of a marketing platform, and then more of the filters came in, and more of the editing, and more of the professionalism came in. So BeReal is at that point right now that Instagram was many years ago, in my opinion. Now, I think that it could be used right now for certain influencers who have large audiences. But managing this would be very interesting because the influencer themselves will have to post. That's the whole point of the whole thing, is that the influencer will have to post themselves. To manage that as a social media manager will be challenging on just straight up. And then also, who will be your friend inside of BeReal? Because if you want to keep it a closed system for an influencer and have this just to be your audience, then there either needs to be some sort of gating system for you to figure out who to be friends with, or some way of managing that. Right now, there's nothing to manage that. Either you accept a friend request or you don't. So that part is challenging. I see my people are back. I'm going to bring you back up in here, and we'll start with Shaun again in terms of where you see this as being useful for people. Oh, nope, not yet. Mic is off. We'll go to Amy.
Yeah, so I think that, again, I think if anything, it's a really good, I'm going to be recommending to my clients to just be trying it personally to get a feel for what's out there. I think a lot of my clients, they worry when there's a new platform, they worry about jumping into it and I guess making a fool of themselves, which they shouldn't be. But this one is much easier, I feel like, because it is so intimate, I feel like, and in a way that, like Phyllis, like you said, we're sharing, we're binging on Netflix, or I've got a glass of wine and a bowl of mac and cheese. We're sharing these really raw, real moments, and I think it's best just to break people out of that cycle of what they expect social media to be. It's going to be a really good way for me to explain to my clients what more social media connection can be. And yeah, I think if anything, it's going to be just an eye opener for people, because it's such an alternative to what we're used to.
Yes, absolutely. So Shaun, did you get your mic to work? Nope, still not working. Darn it. All right, so you keep working on that, and I'm going to read a couple of things now. Marina says, it'll be great, again, for influencers as they take a shot, for example, of strategic branded products, like maybe their feet wearing a Nike shoes coupled with the face. Now, remember, on BeReal, you get the front camera and the back camera at the same time. So you would get, the picture of the shoes plus the happy face. So she thought that would be great for influencers to do that sort of thing. And Wendy says, I might, it seems, well suited for behind the scenes stuff, but I might stop using it because I tend to be in the same 2 or 3 places nearly every single time. And it's boring. I do like to see other people's posts, though, and I could pick Shaun's desk out of a lineup by now. So that was Wendy who said that. But I'm not tired of it yet. But she just realizes that she's just in 3 places all day long. And so every post that she's going to make is going to be one of those 3 pictures, right? And so it's true that it's very real. It is that macaroni and cheese and the glass of wine. One use case that we've been talking about that we thought would be really good, and we sort of talked about it at the beginning, is that social media managers themselves don't have a lot of community. Now, we're building community in the social media pulse community. We're building that community over there, but it's doesn't have built-in Instagram. So, for example, so BeReal is a way for social media managers to stay connected with each other. And even if every single image is them at their desk working, because for a while every single one of my posts was my computer, because it was like, gosh, I am like in front of my computer a lot, and I am, but that's my life, right? So the having other social media managers inside of that circle of friends is something that might be very helpful to build community. Now, the other interesting weird part about BeReal is there is a public side, a discovery side. And so let's say you don't have any friends and you're looking for people to be friends with, then when you post your pictures for BeReal, you have the option to post it just to your friends or to the public. And I've never posted publicly because I don't want to go outside of my circle of people that I know. But some people do that, and then that's how they discover new friends. And that's, again, I think a generational thing, but I think that would be very interesting for people. Now, because we're so focused on the social media manager and how they would use this and what they would do with their clients, I think it's super awesome what Amy just said about how she's advising her clients to look into it, to see how it is. Now, she must have some really great clients who would be willing to just like pop into a new app and kind of test it out. I know my clients would fight me tooth and nail and still don't even want to hear the word TikTok ever. And so that's a little bit challenging for some of us with certain kinds of clients, right? But I think that the second question here is, do you plan to continue using it after we finish this test? And I'm very interested to hear from Amy if she thinks she's going to continue using it.
So I definitely think I'm going to keep using it, and mostly because I like kind of the change that I'm seeing in myself, which is the weirdest thing, right? Because social media does such bad things to us, I think, mentally. I mean, we hear about it at least all the time that new research comes out and our confidence is down and our self-esteem is down, and the app really just makes me feel like I am just like everyone else, in reality. And all the other platforms are very much just us filtering and propping up ourselves to make ourselves feel like we're worthy of being in the presence of the people that we follow. And I feel like the BeReal so far allows us that peek into everyone's lives to like make us feel normal. And I really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm gonna stick around.
That's great. Feel normal. And that's a very interesting thing. So some of us again are having a little bit of a challenge in terms of being real because hang on a second. Because the training that we've gotten from social for the past 10 years has sort of trained us to be performers, entertainers, and on-air personalities. And so the social part of it has become more entertainment. And if you notice, even Instagram itself says that they're not, no, it was TikTok, excuse me. TikTok said that they're not a social media site, they're an entertainment company. And if you think about it, the reason you go to TikTok is to be entertained. And so the opposite of that really is this idea of the BeReal app where it catches you in the moment at that time. Now, here are some other ideas of things you could do. And I have a few things here. I'm going to take Amy off for a moment and go back to solo here. And I just want to kind of brainstorm with you some ideas that you might want to think about if you want to use this with your clients. So, for example, let's say because BeReal is on your phone, This is not anything that you can do from desktop. It's definitely on your phone. If you have a business and you pull up BeReal on your phone, you can, when the notification comes up, to take a picture. If you are at work, you can just go ahead and click the picture of you and your employees. Now, the next time it comes up, you can hand your phone to someone else in the company to get their BeReal. So you can share it, but you'd have to be sharing the phone that has the app on it, right? And as far as I know, the name that you give your username can be your business name. There doesn't seem to be anything in there restricting that at the moment. But that's an idea that a client can use. So it's a sort of snapshot into the day of the life inside the business. So that could be a very interesting thing. And again, this is the way Instagram used to be. So it's not anything unusual that way. The other thing that Wendy said with this is that she it's not hard to figure out. The interesting thing that I think about BeReal is, when you have an emoji like a thumbs up or a smiley face or any of those things in BeReal, you can actually and I'm sure you won't be able to see this, but if you click the emoji button, you can create your own emojis, and I'm sure you can't see that. But basically, if you pull up the thumbs up emoji, it will let you take a picture of yourself doing the thumbs up. And then that way, when you respond to someone else's image, it would be you, an image of you with a thumbs up. So that is a unique quality that none of the other social sites have, that I think is very interesting. And I can do one right now. I'm going to just click it. And that's a new emoji that I can use on somebody's image today. So it's a very unique feature. And you can make faces, you can do all the things, you can do whatever you want and be able to express yourself that way. The other thing that I think would be very good is and actually Marina pointed this out, that it's very good for human to human interaction. So you can use BeReal as a community development situation where you're developing community and networking between the members of the community. Because remember, if you do this and you set it up with a large group of people, when everybody gets that notification, let's say you have 100 people following an influencer, friends with an influencer, those 100 people are all going to take a photo at the same time. Then you're going to have this feed of 100 photographs, right? And then all basically at the same time. Now, the other interesting thing is that if you miss the notification to post for BeReal, you can post later. But what's interesting is you can't just go in and look at other people's photographs. You can't just go view BeReal feed. You have to post in order to view. And that, again, is a very unique feature of BeReal. Yes, so now I've got both of my, this must be the day for it. I've got both of my guests here on mobile. We're going to bring both of you back on and see if we've got Shaun. Can we talk now?
Yeah, I think so. I do apologize, Phyllis. It's internet went down.
Yes, internet. Yes, the internet will do that, especially if you're going to be on screen. It's an amazing thing that it does like that. So we're on to basically the questions. Do you think social media managers need to get in there and figure it out, or do you think it's just not ready for that sort of thing yet?
Yeah, I personally think we all need to be understanding, new platforms. Like you say, it's buzzing around the internet at the moment. And usually it's my children teaching me the new technology, so it makes a change to for me to know something new that they don't. I think it's a great app. I think I think you could really use it for networking really well with others, and I think this experiment's been really good.
Are you going to continue to use it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
I love the randomness of it, and like Amy says, everything we do is pre-planned and scheduled, and we've worked it out exactly what we're going to do, and this is, I love having to just take a photo just there and then.
It's very interesting in terms of the notification sound, because when you hear that notification sound, you think, and then I have to be real. And so for me, it's like, I don't know, can I be real? And the inside joke with the group that I'm testing this out with, you guys, is that many of my BeReals are me with my head turned or the back of my head, because I'm just like not ready to be that real. And so I personally have to get over that, I think, through time. And this app kind of forces you into it, I think. There are times when the notification actually came up for me. Just a little personal thing here. When the news broke about the school in Texas, and I was like, oh, this is too real to be real right now. So I think in terms of social media and all of that, there are times where even if you get dinged on the head with a notification, you don't have to be that responsive, right? That we don't want to be trained puppies that way in terms of the notifications, right? That everyone should just take a moment when that notification goes off and be okay with posting and not feel pressure to post, because that's the only thing that I can find in this app, is that there might be a little bit of, oh, I have to be real now. Right. So I just want people to say that it's really important to still, even with this fun app and this fun notification system, which is really random, they pick a random time during the day. It's never at the same time. So you never know when it's going to happen. So that's kind of unsettling for a lot of people. But also it makes for, again, the spontaneity that we've been missing in social media for the last few years. So, Amy, what are your thoughts about that?
So my one pet peeve was pretty much exactly what you brought up, and that's that I get a lot of notifications. And to have one more notification, and not just a notification, but something that comes with a deadline, it's like I have enough deadlines in my life. So
Yes.
that's the one thing, is I don't, for someone who has anxiety, and it does add a little bit of that, but it helps that it's possible to post a late, right? Like we don't have to post it right then. And so what I'm trying to train myself is, like, if I'm able to get one in on time, I celebrate that and try not to feel so bad about being late, or, like you said, just kind of assess yourself in the moment, and don't feel pressured to, it's not a countdown. I guess it is a countdown, but
It is a countdown.
Nothing terrible is going to happen at the end of that countdown, right? So, yeah, I think that might just come with the newness of the technology, or of the process, the platform, the whatever it is, and I think I'll work that out. I think it's overwhelmingly more benefits than downsides. Yeah, and the emojis are one of my favorite parts. So
Yeah. We should probably explore the countdown timer a little bit so people understand. So when you get a notification, BeReal notification says you have 2 minutes to post. And when you open up the app, there's a countdown timer in the top counting down that 2 minutes. So there is a little pressure. Now, if you take a picture and you don't like it, you can still X out of it and take another picture. And so it isn't that there isn't any ability to edit where you are, edit the situation or filter what you're experiencing, because you do have that option. So, but it doesn't have those built-in filters and things and stickers and all those things that you have on Instagram. It's plain, completely plain that way. But you can X out and try again, which I don't know about you guys, but I use on the regular. But that countdown timer, so these are the things that are unique about BeReal. One is that you're all getting notified at the same time. You can't see the feed unless you post. So that is unique inside of BeReal. The fact that you can keep a circle private, so nobody sees anything that you post if it's a private, if it's shared privately. And that is a very nice, it's sort of like a private chat system. It's basically like private chat. Seriously, it's like private chat, but everybody posts images instead of texting. And then the other thing that's unique about it is the emojis, that you can create your own emojis on there. Is there anything else that you think is unique about the app? Shaun, we'll start with you.
No, the only thing I've not tested is what happens if you don't take a photo within 2 minutes. Does it take a photo for you?
No.
I've not tested that yet.
Thank goodness. No. It won't take a photo for you, but you won't be able to see anybody else's photos.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, it locks you out. And so there is pressure to do that. So it's not that this app doesn't have pressure, it does. There is some pressure. And Amy addressed that a little bit in terms of the anxiety of, doing it and stuff. But again, the spontaneity and the real lifeness of it is its highlights. I want to read a couple of other points here. This is from Wendy. She says, as someone who holds the phone up for selfies, right? So if you're doing a selfie, you're holding the phone up like this. It's hard to take photos of things lower than my face without getting just a picture of my chin or bending my neck down to look at the camera. So that's weird. I'm also wondering about what they'll do with location and consumer info data in the future when they update their terms of service. And the reason this is interesting is because when they, again, this particular app, when you take a picture, they're using the front camera and the back camera, both of them at the same time. So that's why, like, if you're sitting at your desk and you put your camera up, it's like there's nothing interesting unless you like. It's just a challenging camera angle many times. And then the other thing that I wanted to ask everyone is, so what are your kind of like advice to just social media managers? And then we'll talk about agency owners in a minute. So just social media managers, do you advise everybody to go in and check it out? Do you advise finding a small group of people and testing it? Do you want to invite more people into our test group? Like, what are your feelings about the social media manager? And I'll start with you, Amy.
Okay, I was just texting you or messaging you to say I might have to drop here, but I am going to recommend everyone try it. If nothing else, for mental health, even if it's not going to be something that directly impacts revenues at your business. I have I go to school full time too, and I'm going to recommend my little schoolwork group, my little cohort of peers that we all get on. Right now we're in WhatsApp, and we send each other pictures of what we're doing in the middle of the day. I have some groups in my family that it's just one family, and every Friday they stop what they're doing and send a picture of what they're doing that.
Oh, she's frozen. But that was exactly it. To me, it feels like a little variation of a group chat, right? A WhatsApp chat or something. It feels like it's taking that system that people have been creating on their own, like you have with your family, that they take that picture. Then thank you, Amy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I realized that there were doctor appointments and all sorts of things today, and life happens, right? And that's totally cool. Family first, always. But those systems that people have been trying to work out using other systems, now it's they've tried to make inside of BeReal, right? And what are your thoughts on that, Shaun?
Yeah, I think, it to me. Yeah, I'm definitely going to recommend it to other people in other probably even in other business networks that I involved in. I think it's a great opportunity to share and get to know people. You know, yourself and Amy, we've never met, we're across the pond. And it's been an eye into someone else's life. And I think with from that, there's friendship being made. So I think it's a great tool. I think also, I had the opportunity to share some great news with the group on winning an award. So I know that it's about being real, but you do have that 2 minutes that if you think, oh, am I really going to share a picture of my computer again? You can change it up a little bit. So it can be a little bit staged, I suppose.
So, Shaun, tell everyone about the award you just won, because it was really, really nice to be able to celebrate that inside the app. So, do you have it right there? Let's see it.
Yes, I do. I don't know if I can.
There it is. Yay. And
So
tell us what it is.
So it's Managing Director of the Year award in here in the UK for most innovative web design managing director in the whole of Scotland.
Wow, congratulations again. That's like
Yeah,
really
so
awesome.
I own two companies. So one's a social media agency, and the other's a web design agency. So it's a all under one roof sort of solution.
That's awesome. And it was nice to be able to post that to somebody in a small group, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And especially that we're all in this sort of digital world together.
Yes.
I think this gives you the opportunity to share, those celebrations as well.
Yes, but I have to say, you're totally welcome to share those wonderful events inside the community anytime. It's totally okay, because we would all like to celebrate that for you too. So, please feel free to do all of that. So, and I'm going to say thank you very much to Shaun, and I'm going to close up the event. And Shaun, I'll see you on BeReal, yes? So I hope that you got an idea about this, and I am going to bring up one comment that I saw from Ruth, because I think it's really important. And she said, when we were talking about the notifications and being, like a trained puppy, and she said that she agrees. She was typing this when I started to mention being a trained puppy. I like that BeReal is more real, but I am a private person, and I like living my life asynchronously. I'm so sick. I'm sorry. I don't want to be forced to post at a certain time. And so, and here's the thing, it forces you out of your real life at the moment. And it does create a bump in the flow of your life. But if you're looking for an app to enjoy with a small group of friends who you want to know better or want to feel more connected to, it's a beautiful app. And like I said, most people have kind of reproduced that inside of WhatsApp or other chat situations on their own. And this is just more of an official app like that. All right. Well, I know you realize that I'm off to the doctor, and it's been a wonderful open office hour for me, because I got to talk to two of my BeReal buddies live here inside the open office hour. If you have any questions about any of this, please reach out to me in any of the places. I'm happy to talk about it. If you would like to join my little test group and you are a social media manager, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I will give you instructions on how to do that. And yes, I will feel better soon, as soon as I go to the doctor and get some more drugs. All right. So thank you very much, everybody. And now I just have to figure out how to end the stream. And peace. Have a good day.